Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? This is a very important question. Where do you want to go? See, we find ourselves in this scenario of life. Imagine we have this big old map. And in order to process this map, there's all these trials. But this is our goal. And we're right here. So there's always going to be some type of route in front of us, or some type of situation that we go through in this entire thing called life. We have to get and understand where do we want to go in order to get to the spot. Because when we get to knowing the where, right? When we know the where, you kind of start to understand, okay, what are the steps that I need to do in order to get here? Most people go around and we try to be like, oh, I want to go here, but I also want to go here. I also want to go here. I also want to go here. But not knowing that these are all distractions. Because the root cause of understanding where you want to go is you knowing yourself and what you want to achieve in life. But we find ourselves actively being on social media thinking that this distraction, oh, this new thing that just got presented in my face is a good thing, this new thing. We are all victims of looking at other people and being like, oh, I want what they have. I want what they have because it's going to make me feel better. But some people don't understand that there's been people who have gotten what they have and never been happy with what they had because it wasn't their why. It wasn't their goal to get to their spot. That was just a private destination that they just decided to push themselves into and recognize it wasn't for them. This is important for us. I remember talking, and I remember this specific thing. We get this question when we grow up and being like, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? I think it's the wrong question. The question we should be asking is, where do you want to go? Because where do you want to go can be like, I want to be a person that takes airplanes in the sky. You know, I want to be a person that develops this new thing. That's where I want to go. I want to go to California and live on my acting career, and I want to be a super mega star. But this is a destination. Knowing your destination is easier because if I'm here and I say, well, oh my gosh, it just takes me right here. That's my destination. That's where I go. We have to start allowing ourselves to process where we want to go rather than what we are or what we want to be. Because it is easier to analyze the situation of where you want to go because now you're seeing a clear, direct route. How? How do you find a direct route to your why or where you want to go? Well, you break it down. You break it down and you map it out going backwards. That's how you map it out. So for instance, if you're a person that's trying to get to this place where I'm like super confident in who I am, super confident in how I start talking to girls, super confident in just life, you start doing things that are abnormal. Okay, how do I start talking to girls? How do I retreat back and start looking at it from a different perspective? Well, I just want to be able to initialize contact. How do I do that? Well, you start saying hi. Okay, what do I do next? Well, you start complimenting girls. Okay, what do I do next? You start getting to places where it is acclimate to actually have a conversation or start something with somebody. It's a coffee shop, a library, Barnes and Nobles, all these different places where you start running back and you start like, oh my gosh, I want a girlfriend. Oh wow, I start taking this person on dates and I start doing that. And after that, you start doing that over and over and like, oh, I really like this person and I want to marry him. That's how you get to that destination. That's where I want to go. I want to have a wife. I want to have kids. But some people have other dreams. I want to have a multi-million-dollar company. One day, you gotta literally dissect the entire thing. The most important thing about this, where do you want to go, is knowing that there's silence. Silence. Silence and understanding that this is my goal. Now, how do I revert it back? And how do I take my time to actually know this goal, actually understand this goal? And i.e., you're just breaking it down. That's where you want to go. So ask yourself, where do you want to go? How bad do you want it? Because in order to have this, you have to do the things that you've never done before. You have to break it down like you never broke it down before. And you have to take action. There's nothing in this life that you can't have because you have action. If you have extraordinary action, you're going to take it and you're going to win every single time. So ask yourself this, where do you want to go? How big is that where? How big do you find yourself and can you imagine for your life that's coming? Every day, tomorrow is coming. The sun goes down and tomorrow is coming. And what do you want to do with your time? Class is closed.